Hey guys, the behind the scenes today is a little bit different. Namely because I'm actually gonna do a sort of tutorial for you guys. Not really a tutorial, but a step-by-step walkthrough of rings that I had to make for Nicholas. Now, just noteworthy the fact that these rings, I actually already made them, I just didn't record myself making them. And, well, I wasn't that satisfied, but I still used them for the chapter, and I decided to remake them, see if I can make them better. And well, record it this time and show you guys a bit step by step how it goes. So I'm live right now on Blender. And okay, so the ring you see here is a ring I found on the internet, a free model, and it's the only one I really wanted, like this style for Nico. Now, we could just take this ring as is, resize it for human and then export it as an accessory. However, problem, if you can see my mouse, is that I have 30,000 verts, which means a poly count of, I don't know if poly count is tris or verts, but either way, 30k or 57k, that is way too big, especially for a ring. I mean, a really high poly count dress, like usually would be 9k, so just the ring should be 1k and below. So we're gonna have to reduce this, and that's basically what I did last time when I made this ring, and I ended up having to delete these because I'm gonna show you guys. These individually are easily 500 verts each, and you can see here they're everywhere, and that's 500, 500. This is 1.5k, and it's way too much. So I actually deleted this the first time, but I kept it because I like the style. Now what we're gonna do here first is actually separate the band from all of these little individual things. How I'm selecting these individually right now is I'm selecting a vert and then pressing my L keyboard, link, it just selects everything. And I'm going to do the same thing for this here, which selects this as individual. Now I want to separate this from the main group, so I'm just going to press P and separate by selection. So now, as you can see here in the top right, I've got two objects. I've got these symbols, which on their own are a lot of poly counts, and then this. So these are two different objects that I can work on separately. So I'm not going to touch these because I'm going to delete them later anyways. Don't know if I'm speaking loud enough. I'm going to speak louder. So now we have this. Now the problem with this is if I select the entire thing, which, I can press L to link, or I can also just, since it's a separate object, press A twice, and then it selects everything, the whole entire object. Since I'm in edit mode now, I know this is not a real tutorial. I'm just showing you how I did this. So this alone is already, I'm just gonna go with tris actually. This is already 13k, which is still way too big. So one way to reduce the poly count actually is to go here and apply a modifier. So I'm gonna apply the modifier decimate, I think. Yes, decimate. Now I go in object mode to actually see what it's gonna do. And I'm gonna unsubdivide, and I'm gonna I'm gonna do it twice. So the textures here are wonky, that's okay. We can just ignore that for now. I'll fix it later. So we've got two iterations. It's already smaller. We're already down to, it says here, face count 1k, which is, that is a lot better, guys. Now, can I do it even more? Now I can bring it back down to even lower, like 400k, which I think is a lot more, it's a lot better. This is a ring. Anything higher than 1000 in face count is way too much. So I'm happy with this. I'm going to apply right here. So now it's applied. This is the mesh. Now we can see it's a little sharp on the edges here. It's not that pretty sharp stuff. So what we can do, because this isn't applied on this object, if I press W, nope, not W. Nope. What do I press? L? Oh, sorry. I have to go in edit mode. Select everything, and then I press W. And on this menu here, the specials menu, I find Shade Smooth. And now if we go back to object mode, oh look at that! It's smooth, it's pretty, it's gorgeous. Yes, this is what we want. However, we can see here the symbols are overlapping. So if we're going to go in edit mode, we can just fix that real quick. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this whole edge here. And I'm just going to select two vertices. So I've got two, 1, 2. And I'm going to do Control E on my keyboard. It's going to open this, and I'm going to find the word edge loop. Click on it, and boom! It has selected the entire edge. And now that this is the case, I am just going to lift this a little bit to go over those symbols. And I'm going to do the same thing on the ground. Select both and Control E, edge loop. And I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. Now I find this a little bit sharp, so I am going to reduce these. So select edge loop, and here I'm going to scale it. Instead of just using the arrows, I'm going to press S on my keyboard. S, that way I can scale it, and I can just give it a little bit less of a sharp edge here, and do the same here. So edge loop, and scale it a little bit with S on my keyboard. There we go. That is beautiful and perfect. Okay, that right there was me changing the view with my numpad 5. Okay, so I pretty much have the shape I want. Now I want these symbols here. Now to have these symbols, I'm actually going to, first off, we can see the black and the gray. That's because of the original texture color that this ring had. So I'm just going to, here in the menu, go in the material selection and just delete these because I'm going to make my own UV map. So I delete these and they look like this. And I'm going to do the same for the symbols, even though I don't need to, but I'm going to do it anyways. So this is what it looks just as is. A little bit of an edge here, which is fine. It looks fine. When I'm going to take this off, that's the entire ring really, and I'm going to add these symbols though on the texture. And to do this, I'm going to bake it to create a texture. I'm getting advanced, going too fast though. So before I bake, I need to fix the UV map. Now currently, I know this UV map is kind of painful because it uses multiple texture spots. So to change the window here, I just created a new window in Blender, and I'm making this UV map, and actually it does not have a UV, so I'm going to make a UV for it. I'm going to make my own UV, so I'm just going to get rid of any split lines they've made, and for that I'm going to remove doubles. And we can see here it has removed 0 vertices. That means it had no split lines. Okay, perfect. So if I unwrap my little band here right now, this is what it looks like. Squares. We can't really work with that. How am I supposed to texture? You don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split first. We're gonna split it randomly right here. So I'm gonna select 2 vertices. I'm gonna edge loop again, so I have the entire loop over here, and I'm gonna Control E, and this time I'm going to edge split. This basically separates the vertices and creates a hard edge, which we can see better here. See? We can see that line here. And if we select one of the vertices, you can see it doubled the line basically and separated them. What this does is if I select the whole thing and unwrap it this time, it already looks a little bit more usable, but it's not perfect. I'm also going to create a split line here down the middle in the inside of the ring. So I'm going to edge loop and then edge split again. As you can see, edge split, it's separated, we confirm. So we select everything and we unwrap. There we go, that's better. That's a lot better. And yes, we're going to work with that. Usually you can just move then the UV map wherever you want on the texture, but this one is kind of weird and I want the texture to look nice flowing, if that makes sense. So I'm actually just going to leave it like this. It's a ring, so it doesn't need to be extremely textured and beautifully thing. Well, I'm actually yeah, I'm gonna scale it a little bit. Since I'm gonna bake over it, it's okay. So I'm just gonna scale it a little bit to reduce pixelization. Because the UV map, right? This is basically gonna be your texture file. So depending on how big these squares are, that's gonna change the pixelization here. But it's a ring, right? So pixels are okay. They won't show as much. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And now it's about baking it. That means creating a base texture with the shadows, the natural shadows. Like, let me just here. Oh, my mouse is not working very well. Ah, there we go. Okay, well, anyway, we're gonna bake here. Now that we've fixed the UV map, and we're gonna want shadows. I'm gonna show you a bake without these and then a bake with these. So let's just say we delete these objects. Don't worry, we'll get them back. Let's say we delete them. And then we bake this. We bake this just like that. Okay, so here I'm in the bake section. I've scrolled down, I found the bake menu, and I'm just gonna choose ambient occlusion here. And I'm going to make a margin of 2. Margins are how far the textures appear here. So if I do a margin of 2, that's 2 pixels here. 16 pixels would have made the texture big all the way here. Anyway, here we go. Just a quick bake to show you guys. Oops, I have to make an image. So yes, before you bake, go down here, new image. 1024 is the average one. It's good. So we've got a new bake. The clear option here is going to get rid of all the black and just apply our texture. So bake and we get this, which here we go. We see it a little better. We're going to fix all this grainy later. I just wanted to show you guys the result. Now, if we bring back the mesh, I've Control Z'd all the way to before I deleted this group. We're going to go back, rebake. Now that this is here, with ambient occlusion, margin 2, just going to redo that, and a new image. Now if we bake, look at that! We get the shadows from this because it's blocking that part of the mesh and creating natural shadows. So, right up here, we get our nice texture. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now that we got the texture, we can now officially delete these, which were 25K. That's a huge poly count for Sims. There we go. So, that's better. Now, we can actually see what this looks like on here with the texture. Now, like I said, I wanted to fix the grainy, so I need to bring back the original model here. Yep, I brought back the group because I'm going to rebake it. Rebake it, this time just remove the grainy and make the texture more smooth. To do this, I'm going to go here in scene. No, I'm going to go in the fourth one, which is world. I'm going to check mark ambient occlusion, environment lighting, indirect lighting, and this is going to give me the option to change the samples here in the gather menu. Samples are 5. Samples are what are making this grainy thing. So I'm going to bring the samples up to 20. It's going to take a lot more time to bake, but it's going to be a lot smoother. So now that I change this, I have my shadow creating mesh here. I go back and bake and clear, so it's just going to erase this and add a new one. So ambient occlusion, bake. Now we wait. It's going to take a little bit of time since it's higher quality. Once we're done this, we can redelete the group and then we can import a sim mesh so I can resize and adjust the ring onto one of the fingers. So we're slowly going here. I'm just going to try and speak louder because I think you guys can't hear me that well. Yeah, this is actually a very simple texture to do. Usually textures are way more difficult and they always seem to have something wrong going with them. This is going to be the multiplier. Textures have a multiplier, which is the base texture. they have a mask, which is what we're going to use to recolor, and they have a specular to show where the shine is. Okay, perfect. This is good. Now that the bake is finished, I'm actually going to save this right now. So, save image as, save as image. Now that that's saved, we can delete the group right here. Delete it. We are happily at 500 of a poly count. Perfect. Well, and we can see the texture here. Smooth, nice, a little bit pixelated, which might just be, no, it won't show up too much. That's basically what Nico's ring is going to look like from far away. All these shadows are because the place itself doesn't have a lot of sunspots. If we add a few, we see this. We can see it better, but adding lighting. Anyway, that's not that important here. Now that we're done this, we can import a sim ring. Okay, there we go. We have our male sim model. I'm just gonna add some more lighting because I actually want to see. Though I'm probably just gonna stick in solid, which works just fine. So, as we can see now, the ring is kind of too big of a shape, eh? It looks more like a huge fat necklace than a ring. So, we're going to start on the right side. No reason, just because we want to. So, I am satisfied with this. Yes, it's a little far from the base, but I think that's normal. And the ring kind of looks huge, but the other one was huge too. So, there we go. It's pretty good. We are just going to come over here and, well, we don't want just the right one, we want the left one too. So, I'm going to try and apply a mirror modifier. So, in object mode, I go here, add modifier, and I find mirror modifier. So, perfect! It created another exact replica mesh, on the other hand, perfectly placed like we did with the other. So we don't need to relive through that all over again. So I press apply. Now, right now though, they are just one object. So, I'm gonna go and edit object mode. No, edit mode. I'm gonna select all of this, which is easier if I go in wireframe. Press C and just click. C is what, okay, let me just back up. If I press the key C, it creates this little circle thing, which means I can select anything that is in the circle. So I have all the vertices, everything from this other ring selected. If I right click, it gets rid of the C mode. And now with these selected, I can separate it into two groups because why, actually? I separated into groups last time because I wanted left and right, but no, I'm just in case. We never know. Maybe in the story I need them separated. You know, maybe Nico loses one. I don't know. It can happen. So, I've got two objects here. Perfect. Now, I'm just going to delete the human because I don't need him anymore. So I'm going to go up here and just delete and then delete. I deleted the armature. So we've still got all of this to delete. So delete, 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 delete. So I only have my rings left. Now, if I go in Milkshape now, it's not going to work because technically these are the same and they have the same names, and Milkshape has the tendency to merge things that have the same name if you import them. So I'm actually going to temporarily delete one. So I'm going to delete the left hand, X delete, and now I only have the right hand, and I'm going to export this as right. Now I'm going to Control Z once that's done. Control Z, Control Z, and I have the left ring back. So I delete the right ring, And now I export only the left ring. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to Control Z again, have both rings, and I'm going to leave Blender open just in case. Now I am going to go in Milkshade and I will see you there.